All right, welcome to Work from Home Habits. I'm Chris Burns. We're Techie Gurus. We're thankful to have everybody here today. So just some logistics. If you have any questions during this presentation, please just post them in the chat and we'll actually have a point at the end where we actually get to them. These are social medias. Please follow us. Everything is posted on YouTube, usually within 1 to 3 business days. I've been getting pretty good about this. We usually have it up the next day. So if you miss anything, you can go back. If you missed any of our presentations or webinars, go back and you can view them. So the goals for the day, we're trying to provide tips on working from home. Last week we covered like some of the security aspects. This week it's just really just habits. One of the hardest things about this is just transitioning from being on site to being a dispersed workforce and trying to kind of change the way that we do things to make it a little bit easier for people to get their job done. All these topics are very serious, but I do present with some levity. I'm also kind of inappropriate sometimes. I try to keep that in check. I'll always be focused on security, and Zoom automatically emails out reminders. We say we do it, but really it's just Zoom. So upcoming webinars next week will be work from home troubleshooting, and then we're going to focus on some Office 365 tools that most people don't even know they have in the following week. So the topic of the day, how do you work from home? What are the best habits to do, to work with a team or just in general, just for you? We're all human. It's hard sometimes to transition from going to an office because it's a routine. This broke the routine up a lot. So we're going to have to assume that feeling human is the goal for everybody here. So first of all, how do you set up your workspace? As you can see, that image, not a good image, not a good workspace. It's actually scary that that looks like that. But what you want to do is you want to find a space in your home where you can concentrate. So that may be away from your kids, away from your pet, someplace that can be quiet, but you can still get things done. Especially when you're going to be on a meeting, you don't want kids running through the background or the dog running through or barking. I mean, that happens. People are much more accepting of that today just because of how everything's happened with COVID. But one of the things you can do is you can blur your background. So Microsoft Teams allows you to blur or put a background up. Zoom, you can either put a background up as well. So it depends on what you use for your business. You can kind of customize that accordingly. One of the things we want to do is we want to communicate often. So it's hard sometimes at home because there is no separation from work and being at home, especially if you're in a room that you traditionally maybe you watch videos or you browse social media and things like that. It's hard to transition sometimes from that being your space for personal use to being a space for work use. Plus, maybe you're trying to balance watching your kids. With people not being able to have childcare right now, it's tough for them to kind of manage that. So what you want to do is you want to communicate your schedule to your coworkers so that they know when to reach out. If you have young kids or a pet that needs to be taken care of, try to schedule things. But if you can't, at least communicate out with your coworkers. And maintain healthy boundaries. Again, it's tough when you're at home because you're distracted by certain things. Maybe, well, I'll just go do this real quick. Or, wow, that looks like, instead of doing work, like that looks fun. It could be video games for guys. That's something that can be very appealing to people. I know for me, like work from home isn't a big deal for me because I've been doing it for so long. Before even I started taking Gurus, I worked remote a lot. So, and I had to deal with people that were all over the country. So for me, it's been something that's been ingrained in me for a long time, and I can separate work from play, but a lot of people can't. So, or it's very difficult for them to do. So you want to really take breaks. You want to stay hydrated. You want to give yourself opportunities to just schedule things like get up and walk around. Even in an office space, you don't just sit there all day. A lot of times you have to get up, you have to talk to somebody, you have to do things. So kind of keep that in mind, but also try to get distractions out of the room. So anything that is something that you would do normally after work, try to get that out of the room so it's not a distraction while you're actually working. And then as a company, you got to embrace online meetings, but you got to force people to have their cameras on. Video is just a game changer. It's not a phone call with a headset on. It's an actual interaction. It's not as good as being in the same room. We've been doing sales meetings and things like that, like this, and it's difficult sometimes because if everybody doesn't have a camera, it's hard to see like reactions of people, how things are. Nonverbal communication is key. So it's sometimes kind of difficult to do that. But if everybody has a webcam, which they should, or they can even join a meeting from their phone, which everybody should have a phone with a webcam or a front-facing camera on it, you can actually get a lot more interaction with your employees, and it's a lot better of an experience from a meeting standpoint. Plus, if somebody gets distracted, people can call you out. So, but you have to make it a business conscious decision and policy that people need to have their video on. And then be mindful and inclusive. A crowded conference call is tough. Like, one of the things that we struggled with early is Teams didn't allow more than 4 people on the screen. Well, if you have 5 employees or 6 employees or more, you can only see 4 of them. That's changed now. Zoom and Teams, I believe, can do 49 people. Now that would get kind of ridiculous because, I mean, if you're on a small screen, 49 people is not going to be very easy to see. So I think you need to keep the meeting small, but then also pause frequently. Allow time for people to ask questions. Don't just blast through things. Allow people to ask questions and do an interaction. Like when we're face-to-face with somebody, sometimes they're going to interrupt and actually ask a question. A lot of times when we're watching like a webinar or something like that, we don't stop people. We don't interact. So try to schedule things like just pauses inside of a presentation just to kind of, or a meeting, just to let people ask those questions. And then again, you can also just have the chat window open and say, hey, just type it in the chat and we'll address it right after we're done through like a slide or some part of the meeting. And record the meetings. Sometimes you're not gonna be able to get to the meeting. We record these, we post these for the same reason. Not everybody can take time out of their day to join a webinar or attend a meeting that maybe they're not required to be at, maybe suggested. So record it. One of the things that we leverage internally is anything that we record, we actually, Microsoft Stream is a part of Office 365, and we'll talk about that in a future webinar, but it allows you to upload all of the videos that you make. So any meeting that you record, you can upload the video. You can have a central repository for that. And the best part about it is it creates a transcript. So now you can actually take the transcript from the meeting, and it's a little work to clean it up, but you will have a transcript of that meeting as well. So it's very convenient. And then people can download the videos or share them or watch them on their phone or however they need to catch back up on the meeting. So it's good for people on vacation too, because maybe they missed a couple of meetings they wanted to be at or they need to be at, and they come back and now they can actually at least watch the videos. And it's not something you necessarily have to delete. You could just leave it there for a while, and if you want to archive them later, that's fine. But the recording part is the important part, and then putting a central place where people can actually watch them. This is a tough one. So I'm spontaneous in our business. Like, I usually pull people aside, and I want to talk to people, especially if an idea hits me. And one of the things I've struggled with is the water cooler talk, the hallway talk, however you want to say it. I don't do drive-by talking all the time. I have a habit of doing that, and I know I don't like that necessarily, so I'm sure people that work for me don't like that either, but it's tough. When everybody's remote, when people aren't in the same room, same office even, it's tough because that is an important aspect of things. Sometimes spontaneity is just ruined by having to be remote. So that's why, like, internally for us, we use Teams. We chat in Teams, we share files in Teams, we collaborate in Teams. We do phone calls, video meetings in Teams. That's how our internal communications work. And it's something that's really kind of made it easy for us to have like daily morning huddles for my tech team with me, with our sales team, like Jen and Jenna. We actually work together, and we can get on a meeting, share files, talk about it, open them up, collaborate, see each other, and just kind of get past that. As far as this, just chatting in general, like you can have channels in Teams. We've already had a webinar about that. Go back and watch that. But you can also just have direct one-to-one communication. Now, people should keep it clean because it is a work environment. But you know what? If you're talking about work stuff, at least you can keep that, and have a chat. And if you want to make a quick call, you just click the call button and you can just have a quick call about it, especially if you're talking about something work-related, maybe like a presentation coming up or a customer issue or something like that. So just keep that in mind. And then bring the team together. Working remotely can seem, I'd say, a bit isolating, but really isolated. I mean, if you haven't seen anybody in 2 or 3 months that you work with, and you don't do videos and you don't do that, it can get pretty lonely. And not everybody's built for that. Some people are just built that they need to be in the office. So it's important to create opportunities for the whole team to virtually get together. It could be a large brainstorm. It could be just virtual coffee. It could be a virtual lunch where you just get together and you just, maybe it's not even something serious. Maybe it's just talking, checking in on everybody, making sure that things are going well. Something that brings people together is very important. So we're here to help. If you don't have a tool internally that you can do this with, if you haven't implemented Teams, we have a webinar about it. Go back and you can watch that. But if you just need help setting that up, book a call, talk to me. And what we'll do is we'll have a conversation. There's no sales pitch to it. We'll just have a conversation. We'll see if we can help you implement something in your business to help you with that communication part. So with that, do we have any questions?
We just have one, and that is, what are your number one tips? You said you worked from home for a while, and you gave a few, but can you go into more detail of tips on staying focused while working from home? Just because it is so easy to get distracted, or your best study habits almost.
So I'll use me as an example. So I play video games. I don't really shy away from that. I had to remove them from the room I was working in and then not use a computer that had them on there, because that was always a tempting thing for me. I shut down a lot of my, I'd have to shut down my emails sometimes, or even my instant messaging. So at the time we used Skype for Business, which is gone now, it's Teams, but I had to close that. I had to close it down because sometimes I needed to focus on just getting one thing done. And one of the challenges with having chat is people will hit you up and they'll message you constantly. Maybe somebody that doesn't take work as seriously as you is trying to have personal chat all the time. So sometimes you just got to put it on, it's like do not disturb now, but at the time there wasn't do not disturb, but now you go on do not disturb, close your email, take an hour, for me, it was 20-minute intervals. If I need to focus on something, I'd take 20 minutes, I'd have everything closed, and then I would take like a 10-minute break or a 5-minute break, depending on how I was. If I wasn't feeling stressed, if I was feeling like I was being productive, I'd keep that break kind of short and I'd just move on. But I had to take frequent breaks because it is kind of isolating. And then I tried to reach out to people inside the company and talk to them. We didn't do video, ours was pure audio, but having those communications, especially inside of a team, are important. And I think that's where you kind of can help each other focus as well. And you have to be honest with somebody. If somebody's bugging you, tell them that. If they're trying to, say, look, I'm trying to get some work done. Can we talk about this later? Maybe after hours, maybe a phone call or something like that. So distractions are the worst thing. My dog, I love my dog, but he would sit there and stare at me. So sometimes I just had to close the door on him. So I need to focus, man. I can't sit here and I can't play ball all day and I can't feed you right now. So just trying to remove distractions is a big key. So identify what distractions are to you and then try to remove those from the environment.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
No problem. So since we don't have anything else, this is a pretty short one. This is a pretty short one, but coming up, like I said, next week will be some work from home troubleshooting. And then September 2nd, we're going to talk about some tools for Office 365 that you didn't know you had. I'll try to cover Stream in there as well, about how we can save videos off and share them with our team. So with that, respected time, I hope everybody has a great day. Have a great week, and we'll see you next week.